Hello, TMG Ben Cowell here, and we're talking about the second layer of the element rest this month and in this video. And that layer of rest is all around self-care, downtime, slow down, restful activities that will release stress, calm the body, calm the mind. We're in a go, go, go society. We're not taught self-care in a lot of ways, and sometimes there's some guilt and shame associated with self-care practices. When we're restful, it does feed our soul and it does soothe our minds. It's more, and I really want to spend a moment or two talking about self-care, and it may make you think of luxury or vacations. It's more of a conscious way of living. Is the self-care I'm talking about. And studies show that we are more restful when there's elements of quiet and solitude. Okay, so, and I'll challenge you on this as well. In terms of self-care practices, they shouldn't cost anything. Okay, they shouldn't cost anything. I do want to, at this point in time, bring up, because I do feel it bears repeating, a real aha moment for me in this wellness journey came actually right around this time when I was going through my studies, and it related around that whole wealthy barber mentality, where arguably one of the best finance books in terms of personal finance written in Canada, if not North America, written by David Chilton, spoke about an element with respect to money, a commodity, that if we save 10% of what we make first and put it away each and every year, that should be enough of a nest egg for when we plan to retire, when we need it. And my real aha moment, this became not a wealthy barber moment, but more a healthy barber moment, when I said, wow, we look at that and it's been so successful in terms of finance and helping people with their financial affairs. Why can't we approach a healthy barber mentality, and with the hours that we have waking, with those, we're working 8 hours, we're sleeping 8 hours, hopefully, there's 8 hours left. With the precious commodity of time, why can't we piece off 10% of that 8 hours that we have and apply it to some sort of self-care practice? And a self-care practice is unique for you. It's unique for you. It runs the gamut. I mean, folks, the mind can go from reading, knitting, walking in nature, longer than usual baths or showers, meditation, journaling, yoga. Oh my God, the list goes on in terms of self-care. There will be different levels of self-care that you might experience. There might be that physical level where you just realize the body's got to slow down, just slow it down. There may also be a more spiritual level of self-care where you're tapping into something a little bit more deeper than the physical part. You're realizing that you're connecting to something more than just your busy self. Okay? Self-care tips all over the map, but self-care tips, you could turn routines into rituals. While you're doing a chore that maybe is bothersome, maybe you turn on some of your favorite music and that you so look forward to, and you do that chore, washing the dishes or putting away the dishes. For me, chopping vegetables, actually, where you're chopping and having real good music in the background just makes it that much better. Noticing nature, earthing. I know you know what earthing is all about. A little tough in the snow. Cutting back on the to-do list. What is on your to-do list? Is it a must-do or a busy to-do list? Anyways, really revisiting your to-do list. Cutting back on social media. What relaxes you? The exercises that you like, not that you think you have to do. Exercises that you like. Mindful. Slow eating. Taking 20 minutes to eat your lunch or your dinner. Enjoying the chews. Thinking about, different nuances of tastes and bites of your food. That's self-care. It's just self-care reduces stress. I mean, we could go on and on about what stress has done to us as a society. It's not going away. But how we handle it, how we handle it is something we can't control. A greater practice of empathy. And again, we could spend hours on empathy and empathy practices. But the more empathy goes up, the more we have a tendency to slow down. And when we slow down, stress does dissipate. So that's a little bit about that inner layer of rest. I want to move now on to the symbolic layer of rest, which is the third layer of rest. And that's symbolic, and that's R&R. It's not rest and relaxation, but it's receiving and restoring. Receiving and restoring. The balance of giving and receiving, it just feels like society and a lot of us place a lot more emphasis on giving than receiving, yet being able to receive gracefully, receive openly, is a mindset, in my opinion. Is it sometimes hard to ask to get things done for you? Do you feel that you're not going to be in control? Are you putting others out by your requests for doing things for them, for you? Does it appear weak when you're asking others to do things? When you ask for help, it's really two gifts. Number one, you will receive the output of that ask. You'll receive a finished product. And number two, the psyche of the person that is rewarding, the psyche of the person that's helping you. There's a certain sense of, hey, I'm helping out, and a communal feeling. So when you're asking for help, it's the gift of two. Okay, it's helping you and it's helping others feel great. The point is to ask for help. It does result in a gift, and by doing that, the receiving part of this layer and the restoring part of this layer, it gives us more time. And with more time, we can seek more peace for self-care practices within. So we're finishing off the element of rest. Rest is, it's an element on that wheel. And again, I want you to also think about this rest element can affect other elements. If I don't have rest, will I have enough time or energy to exercise or be grumpy in my relationship? If other elements are affected, might it affect my rest element? If my career is in trouble, my financial situation's in trouble, am I stressing out? Is it affecting my rest? So rest is one of those elements that really affects other elements of the wheel, and other elements of the wheel really affect it, I find. Be interested in hearing how you feel about it. So this is it. That's a summary. Number one, an element in terms of rest, we talked about the external part of it, and that's sleep, and how important sleep is, and some different ideas about sleep. And number two, today we talked about the inner layer of rest, which is self-care and self-care practices, how important it is. And number three, the symbolic layer of rest, which is all about restoring and receiving, asking and giving for help. And TMG, be well and spread a whole bunch too. Bye for now.